The U.S. Navy's aircraft carriers carry 75 lethal warplanes across every ocean on Earth. But here is the question most people never ask. What happens when those jets aren't in the sky? What happens when an enemy missile is screaming toward the hull at the speed of sound? Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the top 5 hidden weapons that make enemy threats vanish before they even get close. Systems so advanced and so quietly powerful that most Americans have never even heard of them. The first weapon on our list is one you cannot see, touch, or point to on a deck. And yet, without it, every single other weapon on this list is a paperweight. It is called the SSDS, the Ship Self-Defense System, and it is the automated command brain that controls every defensive engagement on a U.S. aircraft carrier. Here is why it has to exist. A modern anti-ship cruise missile often flies just feet above the ocean surface, sea skimming to stay hidden under radar. By the time the carrier sensors finally detect it, the missile may be less than 20 miles away. At the speed of sound, that gives the crew roughly 60 seconds. 60 seconds to live. In those 60 seconds, a human operator has to identify the radar contact, confirm it is not a friendly aircraft, calculate the trajectory, choose the right weapon to intercept it, and fire. By the time a human being finishes just the first step, the ship is already hit. It is not a training and experience problem. Human cognition physically cannot move that fast. The SSDS can. The moment a threat is detected, the SSDs classifies it in milliseconds, not seconds. Milliseconds. It processes data at a speed that makes the fastest gaming PC on the market look like a calculator. It selects the right weapon from the carrier's full defensive arsenal, accounts for every other active threat simultaneously, and fires. No human presses a button. The crew sets the rules of engagement in advance. After that, the machine runs the fight. What makes this genuinely jaw-dropping is the architecture. The SSDS manages 3 concentric rings of destruction, a layered kill chain that works from the outside in. The outer ring handles threats at 30 miles. If something survives that, the middle ring engages at 6 miles. If it somehow clears both of those, the inner ring fires at under 1 mile. 3 walls of firepower, all sequenced, coordinated, and triggered automatically by one system that never blinks, never panics, and never hesitates. Installed on every Nimitz class and Ford class carrier in the fleet, integrating every sensor, every missile, every close-in gun into one unified network. It has never been in a movie and in a recruitment video, but it is the reason why no U.S. carrier has ever been lost to enemy weapons in the modern era. Everything on this list starts here. Here is where things get genuinely fascinating, because this next weapon does not fire a single bullet, does not launch a single missile, makes absolutely no sound, and it might be the most important defensive system on the entire ship. Sailors call it the Slick 32. Its strategy is what military planners call the silent kill, and once you understand how it works, you will never think about missile defense the same way again. Every anti-ship missile in the world relies on one thing to find its target: guidance signals. Either it emits its own radar and tracks the reflection off the carrier's hull, or it homes in on the electromagnetic fingerprint the ship naturally gives off. The missile locks onto that signal and follows it straight to impact. The SLQ-32 goes after that process directly. The moment a missile enters its detection range, the system intercepts its guidance signal, analyzes the exact frequency and modulation, and then blasts back a distorted version of the same signal, stronger than the real one. This is called spoofing. The missile's brain receives what it believes is the carrier's radar return, except the SLQ-32 has moved the apparent position of the carrier to somewhere it isn't. The missile adjusts course. It screams past the actual ship. It hits empty ocean. A $2 million missile chases a ghost and never knows it was fooled. The carrier variant runs 2 full jamming arrays simultaneously. one covering each side, giving 360 degrees of continuous coverage. Whatever direction the threat comes from, the system is already facing it, and now it has been upgraded into something even more formidable. The latest version, the SEWIP Block 3, uses gallium nitride antenna technology, the same advanced material that powers the most capable military radars on the planet. What gallium nitride enables is parallel jamming, multiple incoming missiles from multiple directions, all being spoofed simultaneously without the system losing effectiveness against any single one. In October 2024, the Navy invested another $113 million to expand these systems across the fleet, because adversaries no longer fire one missile, they fire salvos, dozens at once from different angles. The Block 3 was built specifically to handle exactly that scenario. Before a single gun on the carrier ever needs to fire, this system has already been working to make every missile miss. Silent, invisible, and one of the most decisive defensive technologies the Navy has ever fielded. So, when most people picture the carrier's close-in defenses, one image comes to mind: the Phalanx use, that white dome-shaped turret that looks like a robot from a science fiction movie, firing 20mm rounds at 4,500 per minute. It is iconic. It gets all the camera time in every military documentary ever made. But right next to it on the deck, almost never discussed, is a system that is more capable across most threat scenarios, and almost nobody outside the Navy knows it exists. The RIM-116 rolling airframe missile. And if you have ever seen slow motion footage of it launching, the first thing you notice is strange. The missile spins like a football thrown in a perfect spiral, like a bullet from a rifled barrel. That spin is not a design quirk. It is the engineering reason this weapon works. The rotation creates gyroscopic stability, giving the RIM-116 a precision of flight path at supersonic speeds that no standard fin-steered missile can match. Lean, fast, and extraordinarily agile. Each carrier deploys 2 launchers, each loaded with 21 missiles. That is 42 ready interceptors available at any given moment, and the reach extends to roughly 6 miles, well beyond what the Phalanx guns can touch. The RIM-116 is the middle layer, catching threats that slipped past the electronic jamming before the guns ever need to wake up. What makes it almost impossible to fool is its tri-mode seeker. The RIM-116 does not rely on a single targeting method. It runs 3 simultaneously. It has an infrared seeker tracking the heat signature of the incoming missile. It has a radio frequency seeker tracking the radar emissions the missile produces as it homes in. And it has a passive mode specifically designed for threats that try to go electronically silent in the terminal phase, shutting down their radar signatures to hide. 3 independent eyes on every target at once. Defeating one channel still leaves 2 others hunting you. Defeating all 3 simultaneously while traveling at supersonic speed is something no adversary has demonstrated the ability to do. The Block 2 upgrade added one capability that matters enormously right now: dramatically improved performance against sea-skimming missiles. These are the low-altitude anti-ship weapons China and Russia have invested billions in. Missiles that fly just meters above the ocean surface to stay below radar detection until they are dangerously close. The RIM-116 Block 2 is the direct answer to that specific threat. It sits in a box launcher on the deck, unimpressive from the outside, never in the highlight reel. But it is the gatekeeper of the middle ring, and a major reason that anyone doing the math on attacking a U.S. carrier decided not to. We are moving to the outer defensive ring, 30 miles out, and this is where the carrier stops reacting and starts hunting. The ESSM is the medium-range interceptor. It reaches out to 30 nautical miles and flies at Mach 4, 4 times the speed of sound. A threat detected at 30 miles has seconds before the ESSM is already on top of it. But the Block 2 version is not the same missile that first entered service. Calling it the same weapon is almost misleading. The core guidance technology has been completely redesigned. and that redesign changes everything about how the carrier fights. The original ESSM used semi-active guidance. The carrier's own radar had to continuously point at the target, keeping a beam on it for the entire duration of the missile's flight. Think of it like this. Imagine you have 10 missiles screaming toward the ship, but the carrier only has 2 radar beams to act as guidance lights. You can kill 2 missiles, the other 8 hit you. That is exactly the vulnerability that modern adversary doctrine was built to exploit. China's salvo strategy, firing dozens of missiles simultaneously from multiple directions, was specifically engineered to overwhelm a system that could only handle a handful of engagements at once. The Block 2 eliminates that entirely. It carries its own active guidance radar built directly into the nose of the missile. Once it is in the air and close enough to the target, it activates, finds the threat on its own, and prosecutes the intercept independently. The carrier's radar does not need to stay illuminated. The moment an ESSM Block 2 is launched, the ship is already free to find and fire at the next threat. Fire and forget. Then fire again and again. A carrier can now engage multiple incoming missiles simultaneously from completely different directions, cycling through targets as fast as the launchers would cycle. The salvo doctrine, designed to overwhelm American defenses, runs directly into a system built to invalidate it, and it has already been tested in real combat. In late 2023 through 2024, carrier strike groups operating in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden engaged live Houthi missile and drone attacks. Nearly 400 munitions were expended across the fleet during that period in real engagements against real incoming threats. Every ship came home. One more detail worth knowing, the ESSM Block 2 is quad-packed. 4 missiles fit inside a single vertical launch cell. That effectively quadruples the number of interceptors a carrier can carry without requiring 1 extra inch of deck space. More ammo than the adversary has missiles is the only math that matters in salvo warfare, and the quad pack is how the Navy wins that math. Okay, after everything on this list so far, which layer do you think matters most to the carrier's survival? The ghost shield, the salvo breaker, or the automated brain coordinating all of it? Write below in the comment section. Everything we have covered so far has been in service for years. This final weapon was only publicly confirmed in 2025, and it may be the most important strategic shift in carrier defense in a generation. To understand it, you have to understand the problem it was built to solve. And that problem started with a lesson the Navy learned the hard way in the Red Sea. Starting in late 2023, Houthi forces equipped with Iranian technology began launching something American defense systems were not optimized to handle. Not sophisticated missiles. Swarms, dozens of cheap commercially derived drones launched simultaneously, some costing as little as $2,000 each. The war math of this strategy is brutally simple, and whoever designed it knew exactly what they were doing. A standard U.S. Navy interceptor missile costs $2 million per round. The drone it is shooting down costs $2,000 to build. You do not need to be a mathematician to see the problem. Even if the Navy achieves a perfect intercept rate, every single drone destroyed, 0 misses, the attacker has spent maybe $200,000. The defender has spent $200 million. Run that math long enough and you do not need to sink a carrier. You drain its magazine. You exhaust its interceptor supply. You force it to retreat from contested waters because it simply cannot afford to hold the line anymore, winning every battle while slowly losing the war. The U.S. Navy's answer to that problem is exactly what you would hope. Brilliant in its simplicity. You fight drones with drones. The Coyote Interceptor from Raytheon and the Roadrunner M from Anduril Industries are both turbojet-powered autonomous interceptors built from the ground up for one mission, destroying incoming low-cost attack drones at a fraction of the cost of conventional missiles. They are small, fast, and carry a fragmentation warhead that detonates a shrapnel field, shredding an incoming drone mid-flight. But the Roadrunner M has one capability that completely rewrites the economic equation. It is reusable. A conventional missile is a single-use weapon. Once launched, it either kills the target or disappears into the ocean. Either way, it is gone. The Roadrunner M is different. If it launches and intercepts a drone, mission complete. But if the threat was already handled by another system, the Roadrunner does not self-destruct. It turns around, flies back to the ship, lands vertically on the deck, gets refueled, and launches again. A weapon with no single-use cost. A weapon that keeps flying until it is actually needed. A weapon that turns the drone swarm's entire economic advantage completely upside down. The attacker sends $102,000 drones, betting the Navy will exhaust its $2 million missiles, shooting them down. Instead, the Roadrunner M intercepts them on repeat sorties, at a fraction of that cost, with the same hardware flying again after every engagement. The math that made drone swarms so powerful is now broken. Both systems are already confirmed for active deployment in carrier strike group operations as of 2025. Not prototypes and test programs. Real weapons in the real fleet already on station. The newest addition to the carrier's arsenal. The quietest one. And for the wars of the next decade, potentially the one that matters most. Now let's put all things together, because the most important thing about these 5 weapons is not any one of them individually, it is what happens when they all work as one. An adversary fires a coordinated attack, dozens of missiles and drones from multiple directions, timed to arrive simultaneously, designed to overwhelm whatever is standing in the way. The SSDS sees all of it before a single human eye has processed the first radar return. In milliseconds, it classifies every threat, sequences the engagements, and begins coordinating the entire defensive battle automatically. The Ghost Shield, the SLQ-32, is already working. It intercepts the guidance signals of the incoming missiles and sends each one chasing a false image of a carrier that does not exist where they are looking. Some missiles veer off and disappear into empty ocean without a single shot fired. The missiles that hold lock meet the SM Block 2 at 30 miles, Mach 4 interceptors, each guiding itself independently, the carrier already firing at the next target before the first engagement is even resolved. What survives to 6 miles meets the Screaming Spiral, the RIM-116, running tri-mode targeting, impossible to fool, specifically built to catch the sea skimmers that tried to stay below radar the whole way in. And if anything has beaten every layer before it and is now inside 1 mile, the SSDS triggers the inner ring. Guns. Metal in the air. Running through all of this, the Coyote and Roadrunner M are already airborne, burning down the drone swarm one by one at a cost that makes the entire swarm strategy economically worthless. A coordinated attack representing the best offensive capability a modern adversary can field. And the carrier sails on. No foreign navy has ever forced a U.S. carrier to abort a mission due to enemy fire. Not once. In 80 years of modern naval warfare, that record stands. These 5 systems are the reason it still does. The men and women operating them will never get a press conference. They stand watch at 3 in the morning in the middle of an ocean, surrounded by adversaries spending fortunes trying to find a gap in this architecture. So far, they have not found one. Last question. Do you believe the U.S. Navy has a credible answer to every modern threat its carriers face? Or do you think there is still a real vulnerability out there? Yes, no, or something more complicated? Leave it below. If this gave you a perspective you have not seen anywhere else, hit the like button and subscribe. Because over 95% of people watching are not subscribed. Cost you nothing. Hit subscribe and let's keep going.